Hello, I just wanted to make a little video here to show you how I do my color changing on my corner to corner. I do use bobbins, as you can see here. This is not any particular pattern. I just wanted to get some bright colors, some colors that are not similar, that have heavy contrast, so that you can see where the actual color changes are and how I do mine. This is not necessarily the right way. It is just, well, honestly, it's just what I figured out works for me, and that's really what you have to do with any crochet stitch. Everybody does it just a little bit different. You may do a few things the same, but you just have to find what works for you, and this is what I have found works for me. I am left-handed, so it will look a little bit backwards to you, I guess, but it is still the same principle, and it works the same if you're right-handed. It's still the same. I can't even find the word for it, but it's still the same action. Okay, so on my corner to corner, this is just a little sample piece that I've worked up. I've already turned and got my first stitch here. So I chained 3. Now I'm going to put 3 double crochets in here. Okay, so now I want to switch to my yellow that's next. So I leave 2 loops on my hook, and then I pull these together. Well, first I got to make sure that this stitch right here isn't too loose, so I give it just a little pull here. You can see it tighten up just a little bit, but you don't want to pull it too tight here, because then it causes the other ones to pull. So you just want to make sure that it's not really loose. So I give it just a little pull, and now I'm going to, I pull it up this way, pull it through the 2 loops, and then carry on just like normal. Let me get this one done, and then I'll show you again. I'll leave 2 on my hook. I didn't finish my last stitch there. Just give this one just a little pull to make sure it's not too loose. Pull it through both loops, and then the slip stitch, chain 3, and then my 3 double crochets. And since my next one's white, I just continue. I don't usually just let the bobbins roll around like this, but I just want to do a little video here. See how loose this is? I'm going to pull this a little bit and pull this a little bit, and then continue on. And see, even though I join, some people join in the slip stitch instead of the last part of the last stitch. And I've never done a video before, so my hook's getting caught in places where it normally would not get caught. And I'm not going slow during this, the 3 double crochets, because I'm pretty sure all of you know how to do the regular stitches. It's just the color changing, different color changing ideas that you're doing, that I'm trying to show you here in the video. Okay, so now I'm turned back over. Let me do another one here. Okay, so next, see, I'm going to need white. Let's say my pattern calls for white next. Well, the white, normally you would do another, this right here is where everybody does, where most people do the cut and tie to add another one, and that's how you end up with so many ends on your corner to corner. So I'm still going to leave my 2 loops on my hook here, pull this one just a little bit tight right there, and then I'm going to go ahead and get my white and put it. Now see, that's too tight. That pushes this stitch back. So I'm just going to loosen it a little bit. This white one that I've got right here, I just want to loosen it a little bit. I don't want it to be too loose. See, then that leaves this is floppy and leaves a ugly spot. So I want to keep it. You can adjust it and make it looser or tighter as you do this, if this is what you choose to do. So then this white goes across the top of my next blue stitch because that's what I need next. So I'm going to go ahead and do my slip stitch and my chain 3. Now for every stitch I will make sure that this white is included with the blue, so that I'm crocheting over top of it so that it's not loose and you can't see it. On every one of them I go in and I make sure that the white is included with the blue. See, you saw that I just carried that white yarn down an extra or to an extra stitch, and you can't tell. Right here, if I pull it apart, you can see this actual piece right here is the piece that I pulled from here, and you can't tell. You can't tell that I've carried that yarn. This is one side, this is the other side. You can't tell at all that this yarn's being carried because it is the same color that I'm working with, so you can't tell. Okay, so if I wanted to, let me take this one out. The same principle applies to if I need to do more than one set of stitches with a different color. This yellow, if I need yellow next, I've got 2 spaces here before I get to my yellow. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it down too. Now see, it's all bunched together. You don't want that, so you loosen it up. You don't want it to be too loose. And this is laying flat again, so that's plenty. So now I'm going to go ahead and do my slip stitch. And in doing so, I make sure that the yellow and the white are included together, that I'm going around the yellow and the white before I pull my yarn back through. So I chain my 3, and now on my next double crochet I include the yellow and the white that I stitch around. That's 1, 2, 3. So I need yellow for the next one because I've pulled it through 2. So I'm just going to make sure that I pick it up and cover it with, use it at the same time I'm using the white in the same way I did in the last one. Okay, so right here is the actual piece that I pulled my yarn end, that I pulled down. You can't tell. You can't tell where this yarn is, where it's being carried down through 2 pieces. This is the front, this is the back. It's not noticeable at all. So that's how I do my color changes. Of course, if it's more than just a couple, I can do 3 or 4 spots. I mean, if it's more than that, then I am going to do, then I'm going to cut it. You know, and if I'm finished, of course, you have to cut the color altogether. But that eliminates some of the ends that you'll have in corner to corner.